Alright guys, we are back once again for more Rob's Arcade, just kind of hanging out here in this messed up, scary world of Los Santos. Now this is part 3 of the Monday show. If you're not familiar with the Monday show, go back, watch part 1 or part 2. That'll help fill you guys in just a little bit. But yeah, I like to hang out with you guys at least twice a week. Do a little Monday show and do a Wednesday segment as well. And on the Monday show, just kind of like to hang out with you guys, talk about the weekend, and discuss the upcoming week. This is like the Greyhound. It's like the bus, like the Greyhound Center. But yeah, I like to just, like I said, hang out with you guys on Monday, talk about your weekend. We're coming out of October. It's now November 1st, so hopefully everybody had a great... grab a soda here. Hopefully everybody had a great Halloween. Told you in other videos to go ahead and send me some comments down below. Let me know what you dressed up like, if you guys wore any costumes, if you hit any parties or anything like that. If you want to know what I did this weekend, you have to go back and watch part 1 and part 2 of the Monday show. Now, I'm doing a bunch of these segments just because I feel like this is some of the craziest stuff that GTA has kind of put together in terms of just this added content here. Very creepy, very spooky stuff. I've got UFOs in the sky. Christine, the killer car, killer clowns everywhere. Now, you see some UFOs back there. And I haven't really seen a whole lot of, why am I running down the highway here? Haven't seen a whole lot of scary stuff, aside from the weather, since I started playing this today, but hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, because today I will be sharing video of Buck and I hanging out yesterday on Halloween playing this, and you will see some crazy stuff. You will see killer clowns, you will see Christine, you will see us die a lot, you will see just a lot of mayhem, a lot of crazy stuff. But right now, just I feel like the only thing going on is just the it's just like the weather. There's some music there. It's like a little Spanish festival that looked like I canceled, maybe? Is it the weather? Just kind of walking behind here. You never know what you're going to find. The other day I was playing and I thought you could only find a bike in story mode, and lo and behold, I was just running around and I found some Peckerwood. But just running around, I found a random bicyclist out in the mountains, of all places, of course. And it looks like the sun's getting ready to come up. And it's like riding a bicycle for the first time, playing GTA5 forever. I feel like I've been playing it for years now, and still finding new stuff. So yeah, just kind of been checking everything out, just kind of running around, seeing if there's anything out here. I feel like the content is done. I feel like, I guess maybe all the extra stuff is actually over, but they are still doing like the UFOs, and then of course the crazy wacky weather. It kind of looks like the UFOs are disappearing now. We got some gang members up here, so this kind of looks like this is kind of getting back to normal story mode. Let me know if you guys got a chance yourself too, like hit the comment section. Let me know if you guys got a chance to check out any extra like bonus stuff and any games that you're playing. Like I said, I know Fortnite, they do a great job at adding extra Halloween type stuff and giving fans more content during the holidays. Or like they do their little Christmas thing as well. So I don't know if you guys, if there's any other games out there that I'm just not aware of that also did. Don't do this at home. That didn't do cool content. Let me know. Hit the comment section. Just I'm trying to get myself hit by a car here, honestly, at this point. Yeah, I'm gonna drop, like I said, a bunch of stuff with me and Buck. And don't forget, guys, I can't stress this enough. All right. Actually, like another thing I like to do on Monday is not just talk to you guys about the weekend, but I like to give you guys a mandatory Monday, something that like you have to do. And I'm gonna hold on just 1 second, guys. Actually, while I put you on hold, hit that comment section, man. Give me some comments, guys. Let me know what's going on, okay? All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, looks like yeah, looks like all the craziness is gone, but the rain is still here. Let's go ahead. Let's get out of the rain. Kind of nasty. Let's head back to Rob's Arcade. Is that dude calling 5-0 on me for real? Don't be a narc, dude. But yeah, so also on Mondays, I like to give you guys like a mandatory Monday, something that I feel like you should do. You know, one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to is Michael Rosenbaum, and he always like ends every segment by like, you know, telling you to be nice, do something good for somebody else, put yourself in somebody else's shoes, and I think that's, oh man, great advice. Sorry about that, buddy. I know he's done for. And I think that's great advice, and I like to do the same thing and kind of like give people something outside the box. You know, we tend to live inside the box so much, inside our comfort zone. And in fact, you know, my wife and I are together, actually, I feel like to this day, because I stepped outside of my comfort zone and decided to go watch football, which is something I wasn't really into at the time. I didn't watch football. And it was like the best decision I made, because it led to my wife and I talking to each other again and connecting again and hanging out again, and now we're married and enjoying each other's company all the time, except for when we were annoying as hell and frustrating the other person. But it's great, it's amazing, and like I said, it all happened because I just decided one day, like, man, you know what, I just need to step outside my box and try something different, you know. And it worked. So I like to do the same thing, and on this mandatory Monday, I want you guys to read a comic book. And it has to be a comic book. And the reason for that is because I like comic books. I love comics. And I'm going to come back on Wednesday and share some comic books that I pick up with you guys. And one of the things that I do also with my videos is I include free comic books. If you go back and you look at some of my videos, you will find in the comment section free codes for digital comic books. And it's very simple. It's a very simple thing to do. All you have to do, people, is just go through, look in the comment section, go to marvel.com/redeem. They'll give you like some simple little instructions to follow. You do what they say, you enter this code, and then on your tablet or your iPhone or your smartphone or your computer or whatever, you can read actual Marvel comics that I myself collect. And I don't do the digital comic thing so much. I read some digital comics every now and again. But these are comics that I buy, that I myself purchase, that come with the free code. I don't really use these codes, but I thought what I'd do is I'd put these codes in the comment section so you guys can redeem the code yourself. And these are like Spider-Man, Avenger comics. Like these are actual Marvel comics. These aren't like stupid, rinky-dink comics. And there's a code on every video. So like today, there's going to be a flood of GTA videos. It's just me and Buck hanging out, being stupid yesterday, talking about Halloween and stuff like that. So for every video I do, there's already 3 parts to the Monday show. We got 3 parts to the Monday show. That's 3 codes right there, okay? Every video I drop today, there's going to be another code. So it's not impossible. So like, I'm like, oh, you have to go read a comic book. You're like, well, man, I don't have $2, $5 to go spend on a comic book. You don't have to spend anything. This is a free mandatory Monday. You don't have to pay for anything. You can do this with your computer. However you're watching this right now, you can use that device to read this free comic book. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because I'm coming out of October and Halloween, and I'm very much reminded watching Tales from the Crypt yesterday, and like all these things. It all spawned from the same, Tales from the Crypt, my comic book collection. It all kind of came from the same place, and it led to a passion that is like unparalleled to anything else in my life. Like I love comics. Every Wednesday I'm at the comic shop buying new comics. I love video games. I love Lego. I love toys and action figures, and just different things in general. A fan of anime. Like there's just so many things in my wheelhouse. But comics are definitely that one thing that it might have escaped me for a little while, but it's always found itself back into my life. And it's one of my, like I said, I'm so dedicated to this hobby. I might not run out and buy all the brand new games, but I will run out and grab all my new Batman comic books. So I wanted to share that with you guys and kind of pass along the fun of what it means to actually to have a comic book and to read a comic book. And it's a very interesting storytelling medium because you're getting pictures, you're getting action, you're getting characters. You can read a book. And, a lot of times in books, they will describe very clean and clearly what, this character looks like. And you can picture in your mind what this character looks like. And then they'll make a movie about this. And it's like, oh, wow, man, they did such a great job. That's like exactly, how I pictured this character in my mind. But the great thing about comics is you don't really have to imagine what this character looks like. You get to see what this character looks like. I wasn't very big into reading books myself. I remember actually in elementary school and middle school so many times fumbling and lying my way through book reports just because I simply didn't want to read the book, and I would just kind of fudge, read the back of the book, get the gist of it, build a diorama just kind of based on, what I thought the book was about. And, teacher would see right through it. Robert, you need to read that book and do the book report again. I can tell you didn't read the book. And, comics, though, when I got into comics, I found myself reading them. I read 22 comic books over the weekend. I found myself loving to read, and that passion and that love for reading, and I do have it today. I love reading Stephen King. Not only have I watched the Christine movie, so I know of the Christine car, but I've read the book. I've had tons. My dad has an amazing Stephen King collection, multiple volumes. Because my dad's one of those guys, he can't remember if he bought a movie, he can't remember if he bought a book. So my dad would buy Stephen King books or say, oh, I don't think I have that one. So I would get it for him for his birthday or Christmas, and he's already got 2 copies. I'm like, Dad, what are you talking about? You got 3 copies of needful things. Why do you have all these? And then I think it also just became a thing where if he was out, even if he had the book, he wasn't sure. Man, I don't know if I have the Stephen King book or not. So he would just start picking up Stephen King books, and he's got an amazing collection, which I now own. But I love reading Stephen King. He's one of my favorite authors. He's just such a twisty, crazy storyteller. And other authors as well. Like there's other books I love reading as well. But that wasn't, like I said, always the case. And if it hadn't been for comics, I don't think I would have found myself reading a lot growing up. Uh, and that's kind of sad, But I think that's like why we have comics and why they've done so well is because there are people who gravitate to magazines more. There are people who gravitate to books more, and I think comics provide a really cool middle ground for those who like to watch TV and who like to be visually stimulated, as well as those who like to read or who would like to read more, maybe, but don't read enough. And a lot of times people are like, comics, man, like really, like you can read a comic in a few minutes. Like, really, would you really consider that reading? You've got like four, little voice bubbles on a page or something like that. Like, I mean, that's not a whole lot of text, but trust me, there have been times where I'm reading a comic, I'm like, what are they talking? Like, I have to go look up a word. They start getting into like the more science part of the science fiction aspect of the story, and it's like, all right, you got to do a little research and kind of like look up some of these words, just to know exactly what they're talking about. And especially like nowadays, like at one point, I feel like comics, the books, the books I read in the '90s growing up were definitely skewed more towards children. But I feel like the creators at DC and Marvel kind of realized something in the '90s is that we've got our hooks in these 12 and 13-year-old kids, and like let's mature the material with these fans instead of like trying to um, capitalize on getting new readers, which they still do. I mean, they still have books skewed to a younger audience for sure to try to get those younger readers in. But I feel like at some point, like I said, this was definitely in the '90s, and this might be something they've done with other material as well. That I just but I could definitely see it growing up in this period where they got our hooks. They got our hooks in us with the Batman animated series and different things like that. And like I said, instead of just saying, okay, well, let's keep telling Batman stories for the next crop of young kids and readers, let's update the material with these readers. So like I found myself by the time I was like 18, 20, reading stories and watching animated shows that were like developed, I felt like for me, like for an adult. And it's even still true to this day where I'm picking up, animated movies and you know finding myself like, oh my gosh, like how would I explain some of this material to a 10-year-old kid watching a Batman movie with me. Um, so I find it very important, um, especially for young guys out there. I don't know how many some of my subscribers are still in school and stuff like that, and how many of you guys actually enjoy reading. Um, but I know, like I said, growing up myself, it wasn't something I enjoyed doing a lot of. I just really couldn't find that one book, I guess, that really grabbed me, growing up. And think I'm going back now and reading all these books that I probably should have read back in high school, But um, I feel like if I can kind of pass that on and share that with you guys and kind of give you something um, that might help with, wanting to read, then that's a kind of a cool thing. So it's like a cool thing for me to do because I can share my comic collection with you guys. I can share my books with you, and it's great for you because you get a chance to read some fun stories and see if that passion for reading isn't in there somewhere. Like I said, some people they're not big on reading. I used to take a book to work all the time, and they wouldn't like tease me for it per se, but they would always definitely point out like, man, Rob, you're always reading a book. You've always got a book. You've always got a Stephen King book. You've always got like this giant thick book. You're always reading a book. And it wasn't always like that for me. Like that was, like I said, wasn't a thing growing up for me as a kid. And it's like I said, if there's like I said, some of you guys out there might be still in school or like even now as adults, you're just like, yeah, I just don't really read a lot. Like it's not one of my things I do. Like I mean, my cousin and I, we used to talk about that all the time. Where he was always saying like I need to read more. Like my vocabulary is so limited. Like he would snap me, and I remember so many times he was like telling a story or trying to like explain something or finish a sentence, and he just couldn't get it out. Like he's like, I just don't know the word. And I'm like screaming the word at my phone, like he could hear me or something. Dude, it's you're thinking of so and so. Um, and it was always something he wished he would do more. I think that was like part of the problem with him wanting to. He wanted to do something, I think, with real estate or whatever, and he like had this test he had to take, and it was just like focusing on the material. Like he just couldn't focus on the reading part of it. It's just like, I think a lot of people struggle with that. Especially like, God, shows are so amazing today. Like you can just sucked in to Netflix for hours upon hours upon hours, and it's hard to pull yourself away. But like I said, with comics, you get like a little bit of everything. There's visual stuff. There's text. There's beautiful, colors and imagery, um, and if you're into the Marvel movies and you're into all these things, like reading the comics will just help because like you'll get more familiar with some of the characters, and who knows, you'll read a comic and then down the road you'll see that same thing play out in a movie and you go, oh wow, you'll see the connection, and it's just really really cool. So that's what I want you guys to do this week. I want you guys to go through my comment sections, find some codes, read some comic books, and let me know what you think. You might not like it. I don't. I'm not telling you have to be a comic book collector like I am, but I think it will be something that will benefit you guys. And I'm just trying to push this concept of, like I said, sharing books with you guys to where, like like I said, I don't always, as soon as a video comes out, I don't always jump right in the comment section and post a comment with the free code. You might have to wait like a day or two to actually see the code pop up. I try to be better about it, but I don't always know when the videos load myself. Like I put videos up, and sometimes when they're through the PlayStation, they load like almost instantaneously, and then sometimes they'll take like 6 hours. Um, a lot of the videos I load that I shoot via, video camera and then load up through my phone or whatever, those take sometimes a full day. Like I've had videos that I posted on a Thursday night not show up until Friday morning. So I don't always know exactly when the videos are going to post. I try to keep a better, uh, eye on that as I load more videos. Especially the more videos you load, the harder it gets to keep track of. But like I said, these codes they have expiration dates, um, but they're in there. They're available, and you can, if you don't see one on this video right away or some of the other videos that I'm loading up today, go back and just scroll through some of the older videos and check out those comment sections and see if there's not some codes, some codes floating around in there. My buddy Andrew has been collecting these. I've been sharing some of these codes with him. He's got quite a digital comic library. That's another cool thing too. Is like it's a digital library, so it's not going to take up any room in your house. You're not going to have like a stack of comics everywhere like I do. Um, and you can accumulate multiple titles. Like there's no limit. Actually, if there's one person out here listening to this right now, and they go through and they just start hitting the comment section and sucking up all the codes, there's no limit per person. I can't control that, but these are just free codes out there for anybody who wants to read comics. And I'm trying to, like I said, push that and share that with you guys and really get you guys into collecting these codes just for, just for fun. Like I said, like kind of like sharing things with you guys, sharing my weekends with you, sharing my comic book collection with you, sharing with you guys what I pick up from the comic shop on Wednesdays. It's all about sharing. Sharing is caring. And yeah, I hope you guys, find some. Oh, here we go. Hour 4 telling me it's about time to wrap up this third part of Rob's Arcade. But yeah, man, hopefully you guys will go in there, find some cool codes, and like I said, build like a really cool digital comic, collection. Like, there's tons of books out there that I post from, like, Spider-Man, X-Men, Wolverine. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. Like, Star Wars. I mean, there's all kinds of like Marvel comics floating around in my comment section. So please, please, definitely check those out. Again, guys, please hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys have been up to. If you guys have had a good weekend, hit the like button or the dislike button. Let me know what you think of these videos. Another shout out to Buck. Can't thank you enough for hanging out with me yesterday. Look forward to later on this afternoon some more GTA content. I'm going to be like trimming videos and posting videos all day for you guys. And then tomorrow, new games are going to drop in the PS Plus network. So definitely look out for some new Game Fridays coming up, as well as tons of more just fun stuff coming up in November. We got a Dapper Day at Disney, which should be a lot of fun. I'll have some video on that. And I will be heading back to Virginia here in a couple of weeks. So there'll be like a welcome home Robert video, I'm sure, that I'll kind of put together to share with you guys as well. So please hit the subscribe button. You don't want to miss a moment here on Rob's Arcade. You don't want to miss those free comic books. And yeah, guys, you know, this is never goodbye. This is always to be continued. Until next time, don't spend that quarter anywhere else. Thank you so much for hanging out. Love you guys. And I will see you soon. See you Wednesday. You better read some comic books, guys. I'll be checking with you guys, all right? Later.